The Pacific Northwest is home to some of the most scenic landscapes in the United States. It is also home to some of the most fertile soil in the world. Located in the northwest corner of Washington State is Skagit Valley.
The early days on our farm, it was actually a dairy farm. And my great-grandfather immigrated from Sweden in 1882, and in 1884 they homesteaded where we farm today. They raised other cattle like pigs and some chickens and things like that, and it was basically that way until after World War II, when they started growing some vegetable crops.
It wasn't long after the arrival of John Morrison that Gus Birkeland arrived in Washington State.
Well, Gus Birkeland was an immigrant from Sweden that happened to go up to Alaska in the Alaska Gold Rush in the late 1800s, and evidently made enough money that he could come down to the Skagit Valley and buy a piece of ground and build a home for his family.
While America entered the 20th century, both the Smith and the Morrison farms grew, providing the Skagit Valley region with potatoes, vegetable seed, wheat, peas, and other fresh produce.
In the 50s, they started growing more and more vegetables because freezing had become so popular. And there was a multitude of processors around here, and you could get a contract to grow for them. And so to diversify the dairy farm, they decided to also grow some vegetable crops.
Over a century later, Smith and Morrison farms stand as testaments to the strength of the American farmer. But like anything, farming has changed with the times.
Our farm gradually shifted from being a dairy farm to a crop farm. And they grew peas, corn, we've grown cauliflower, broccoli, there was carrots grown in this area, and also there is a vegetable seed business in this area. And so our farm transitioned into growing vegetable seed crops also, along with still growing some soft grains like winter wheat and barley for animal feed. When Darren and I got involved in our farm, I actually was there 10 years before my younger brother was. We started to transition more into fresh market vegetables.
In 1998, a strategic partnership was formed between Smith and Birkeland Farms and Morrison Farms.
Well, Smith and Morrison Farms came together approximately 1989. The two individual farms were thriving farms, growing lots of crops, yet they did not have their own market. And kind of out of necessity for wanting to expand farms and to get into fresh market vegetables, mainly potatoes, the two farms came together and formed a company that would sell their produce, and that's what Smith and Morrison Farms is.
Smith and Morrison Farms came together with the inception of the Smith and Morrison Farms packing facility. Today, the Smiths and Morrison's produce is sold under the brand Skagit Valley's Best.
The first thing we wanted to do when we put our name on a label, we could have used both farms' names. They have good names, Smiths or Morrisons, kind of made a family thing. But the real claim to fame here on red potatoes is from the Skagit Valley, and the Skagit has basically all around the United States is synonymous with good red potato color, good quality, other vegetables and other produce and products from the Northwest, especially from the Skagit Valley, carry recognition. So we wanted to have a sales entity, kind of a business of its own that was just handling sales, not any growing, none of the labor or anything like that. And so the name was thought up and we brought it up and called Skagit Valley's Best Produce.
Smith and Morrison Farms has a long history of providing the community with quality produce. And while both farms raise a variety of vegetables, it is the potato that truly brings them together.
The potato business for our farm is basically our bread and butter. It is what we do. We grow some other crops mainly just for the rotational aspects. We don't like to grow potatoes in less than a 3-year rotation, so we need to grow other crops. Potatoes are so important to our farm that our farm would not be what it is today without the potatoes. They're better than half of our income, and it's a profitable crop. It's a very quality conscious crop. There can be quite a difference between the best potato and the lesser potato. So we constantly strive to have the best. When the housewife goes to the grocery store and picks one of our red potatoes out, if that thing does not have beautiful color and shape, it's liable not to get sold. So we strive very hard for that. It's really the heart and soul of what we do right now on our farm.
The potato is versatile, healthy, and affordable. This great tasting vegetable has truly become a vital part of the American agricultural industry.
The potato is actually so healthy and nutritious that it's one of the few foods that you could live off of, if you had to, for a long period of time.
As one of the most nutritionally complete foods available, can you believe that 41% of Americans believe that potatoes are unhealthy?
One morning I woke up a little upset that everybody was picking on the potato. And I thought, I'm going to prove to the world that the potato is so healthy and nutritious. So for 60 days straight, I ate just potatoes. And the great thing about it is that, when I started the diet, my intent was just not to have any negative impact on my health. But at the end of 60 days, I actually got healthier.
Smith and Morrison Farms looks to continue their tradition of providing the highest quality foods to American consumers. The exciting partnership through Skagit Valley's Best Produce ensures that homegrown produce from family farms can be enjoyed in homes across the United States for years to come. For more information, visit www.svbest.com or call 877-787-2378.